Mr. Kennedy, coming from Makerere University, taking on my course in Bachelor of Social Sciences. I'm glad to be here. A leader is a person that is selfless and is willing to influence others, do something. Allow me talk about the characteristics of a good leader. A good leader, first, a good leader must be selfless. What do I mean by saying selfless? A good leader must be able to have intentions that are based on helping others, not helping him or her herself.
Dear viewers of Nature TV, welcome to On Track Show for the young people in Uganda, East Africa and Africa. My name is Akansasira Junior Victor, behind the mic of this particular show that is basically trying to bring young people and voice what they are doing to ensure that at least they empower and transform lives of other generations. Today we have beautiful ladies and they are doing marvelous things out there, and we're going to hear what they're talking about, and then we unpack the topic of this show.
Well, thank you very much, our beloved host. I'm very delighted to be part of the Nature TV, and I'm Naria Sharon. I'm part of the Pan-African Women's Organization, and I serve as the coordinator institutions, where we have different chapters in the various institutions: Makerere University, Chambogo University, MOBS, and so on. So I'm very delighted to be part of this today, and I'm here to at least stand up with the beloved Pan-Africanists in this country and Africa at large. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sharon. You are really welcome to the On Track show. Yes, the lady on the extreme left.
Thank you very much. Elizabeth Chisache is my name. I'm serving as the chairperson, Pan-African Women's Organization, Makerere chapter. I'm very delighted to be here today and discuss these issues, like issues pertaining to youth. I'm very delighted to be here. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you so much, dear guests. Today we are discussing a pertinent topic, basically about leadership. And one of the leaders, John C. Maxwell, said, "Leadership, good leadership is not about flowchart position, but it's about influencing others to do what is right." And Martin Luther said, "Time is always right to do what is right." But the whole question is, are we doing what is right? It's what we're going to ask ourselves today as we're discussing leadership. Today's topic, we are looking at basically empowering leaders for a sustainable generation. What does it mean to have a sustainable leader, or a leader who transforms lives that will move from one generation to the other? And what are those things that they do so that others can learn from them and then copy and maybe also or advance? So that is what we're going to discuss today. And like they have introduced themselves before you, we're going to hear from Sharon. What does that leader, or who is a leader?
Well, thank you very much once again. To my description, I would like to refer all this to our beloved Right Honorable Dr. Bruce Kabayo, who currently serves as the Secretary General of the Pan-African Women's Organization. And she actually takes on to be one of the great Pan-Africanists in the African continent. And she has been a very great mentor. So I'm actually going to pick some of the great ideological examples and some elements that she has actually portrayed. She has been a very great leader. It being a lady, she has advocated for male male qualities that you as a male or a gent or a female, what are you supposed to do as a leader? When we leaders have failed to understand the ideological aspect of Pan-Africanism. Pan means the unity. And I believe as leaders we fail to have the element of unity amongst us. And that has called for disunity and maybe brought about corruption. Me having my selfish gains without the aspect of unity has brought about corruption. I truly advocate for unity. It should be one of the aspects that we should frontline in all things we are doing. And Madam Grace Carvalho, the Right Honorable, has always advocated for that. She has advocated for Pan-Africanism.
Right. Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Who is a leader? By definition, what do you understand when somebody talks about a leader?
In my own understanding, a leader is someone who is setting an example, or this person is not fronting themselves but fronting the views of the people behind him or her. Yeah, and like in this aspect, I would refer very much Honorable Janet Museveni, and this person she's a leader, yes, but we are here talking about sustainability. Many youths today, many leaders today, to nurture them for this leadership cause. And in so doing, she has organized the National Youth Conventions. Apparently, the most recent one, people were in Chankwanzi, and people were groomed for patriotism. They are like patriotism about our country and everything. Yeah, and to me, this is key.
This leader who is selfless and
Yes.
ensures that whatever she or he is doing is basically transforming and inspiring others to
Oh,
do
yes.
better than them.
Yes.
Wow, that is really good. Sharon, I want to understand this very well. Leadership in general vis-a-vis sustainability. In reference to Pan-Africanism, in reference to patriotism, and good governance. What is your take on sustainable leadership? What does it mean to you? And what do you say? What do you think we should do? What does that thing that lacks in our leaders that we have in this 21st century?
Well, thank you very much for that key question. It has been a challenge to the Ugandan country and maybe the African continent at large, because for the Pan-Africanism actually runs across the African continent and in the diaspora. Well, one challenging aspect that the leaders have actually had that has hindered the sustainability amongst the leadership platform, they are lacking transparency, they are lacking selflessness, they are actually lacking the ethics of the leadership aspect. Yeah, we're having different leaders and
What do you mean when you talk about transparency?
Yes.
Can you break it down for our viewers to really understand transparency?
yes.
What does it? How does it come in leadership?
When I talk about transparency, I actually get to a view that most leaders aren't able to be having the trust amongst themselves. They aren't able to portray able to share like the deep views with the beloved leaders. They try to work in their dark dockets, trying to work in their different corners without actually having the trust and maybe sharing the different developmental views amongst themselves. And that doesn't call for the unity aspect as Pan-Africanism and as patriots. As a leader, I believe when you're working with your other team member, united we stand, divided we fall. So as a leader, if you're lacking that transparency aspect, so if we actually frontline that and walk actually in the footsteps of our great grandfathers, Kwame Nkrumah, Julius Nyerere, they've actually played a very good role in this, and they've been great leaders. If we could actually hope something from them, this nation, trust me. Actually, to my beloved viewers out there, we're actually advocating for united Africa states. This will actually bring Africa somewhere very far that we are not supposed to run to these banks, the world banks and whatsoever, to get aid. So that will actually call for sustainable leadership development in our country. Thank you very much.
Yes, there is something that you mentioned that brings to us our lovely Pan-Africanists, the likes of the Lumumbas, Patrice, the likes of Professor P.O. Lumumba. Then is this the other gentleman that we really know and that I normally call as a great patriot, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Then it sends us to the likes of Rohilala Madiba, Nelson Mandela. Then it really brings that sense of love for one's country and love for your skin. But I've also seen my sister. I've seen Africans. I've seen great leaders not appreciating their skins. What is your view? Can we say that those are not true leaders because they don't love themselves and they have tried to change their skins and make themselves white? What does that mean?
About this changing skin color and being connected to a love for the country. Okay, yes, it portrays something, it communicates something. By the time someone is changing their skin, it's communicating. You get? So, and this is where we are lacking. Like we are lacking that, like, believing in ourselves. You know, by the time someone wants to change their color from black, then you're lacking somewhere. You don't have confidence. You get? And like, we can't come out to stand for all the values of a leadership when you don't stand for yourself. Like, when you don't believe in yourself that, yes, I can do it, I'm enough for myself. You know, this is something we need as leaders. So a leader out there, you have to know, like, by the time you want to lead people, you have to believe in yourself too. You can't cause people to believe in yourself, in you, yet you can't believe in yourself.
That brings to a sense of love for our country. What makes somebody a true patriot? Because to my understanding, you don't have to love Africa before you love yourself and love in your country. What does that mean to you? And what makes that person a true patriot?
What makes someone a true patriot? Okay, patriotism is the love for our country. So what makes you a true patriot is like doing things not because of who is saying, not because of what government, what leadership am I under, but doing things for the good of your country. Doing things like going outside there, like to help, maybe speak to people, maybe some youths who have been misguided somewhere, where some people who are lost, and like you, it is just on you, your responsibility. You're not waiting on the government to tell you, maybe don't do this. Simple example, like the littering. You know, someone can just mean to take water and like they drop it anywhere. But this is your country. Would you love to move everywhere when there are bottles? When you move into a place now like this one, and you find bottles, paper everywhere. But remember, for you also, when you take water, you can still drop that bottle and you can still stand out and say, this country, like, it's dirty. Museveni is not doing anything. Like, the leaders are not doing enough. But this begins from you. It starts with you. What are you standing for? Like, these small things here really represent patriotism. These small things here, when you take that water, you're responsible enough to drop it into a trash can where it has to be dropped, instead of you just disposing it off. To me, this is patriotism in these small things. We shall not say patriotism is for these people who really fought. Yes, we acknowledge our president did it all, like he did his best and he's still doing. The great Pan-Africanists, we are talking about the Kwame Nkrumahs, the Lumumbas, they've done a lot, but this began with them. So if you want to be a patriotic person, it begins with you. It begins with the small things you're willing to do for what you want to see. You want to see somewhere clean, like it begins with you. You want a corruption-free environment, it begins with you. Yes, thank
Yes,
you very much.
I really get your point. I really want to appreciate you so much. But I don't know whether Sharon believes in what you're saying. Vis-a-vis, she talks about transparency. And to my understanding, this means there are some leaders who are really not accountable to their subjects, right? For example, when they're given budgets, they first pocket half of billions, then they use the other half of the billion to work on our roads. Then in a few months you find potholes in our roads. Is it what you're trying to mean when you talked about transparency? Then can you also connect that to corruption? And how can we have our leaders accountable? When we give them positions to serve us, how can we have them accountable?
Well, thank you very much. I believe like you had mentioned, transparency, which calls for lack of accountability and so on. So I always talk in line of Pan Africanism and so on, because I actually refer to our great grandfathers, Kwame Nkrumah and the others. To me, one lesson I picked from them, they really like the African continent to the to the extent that they would actually lose that, go to their self ground, and actually take on to frontline the priorities of the Africans. So as a leader, how best should we be able to handle this corruption element? If we always have to frontline the priorities of our individual needs, then that will always call for corruption. I'm always having people have ambitions of buying the Benzes, the other expensive cars. So if I'm actually frontlining those ideologies, those priorities, my individual priorities, I'm actually not trying much hard to fight as a leader for my people. Because as a leader, I'm actually given the opportunity to work for my people. So if I'm actually taught that element of always having that love for my people as a leader, not having that selfish gain as a person, and always teach these young people, these young upcoming leaders through this, I'm always having seeing different skills, leadership skills training. If these people could teach this aspect to these young leaders, because I believe in 20 years time to come, we are going to have the young leaders, my beloved leader here. If these people could teach these people this aspect of having the selflessness in them, because I believe if you're trying to talk about transparency, the selfless in you brings out the transparency. If I'm trying to advocate for my young people, my people who have put me in those positions, I'm trying to create that transparency in them. Because if I'm given the 20 million to account for maybe the different project I'm given, and I'm me serving as the coordinator institution under the Pan African Women's Organization, I'm given the 20 million, and I'm having that element of serving my people. Meaning I have to account and maybe do what is expected from me.
That is true.
Yes.
Sharon, do you believe that there is rampant corruption in Uganda?
Yes, I
Do you believe so?
Yeah.
So where is the problem?
So this corruption is.
Are you trying to say that these leaders have not gone through leadership trainings? Are you trying to say that there is something they are lacking?
Yes, there is something they are lacking, and like when you look at corruption as itself, to me, I believe it's not the major problem. It has a root. So down there, by the time someone is corrupt, there is something lacking. You get?
Tell us about that thing.
So, what is lacking? We have a problem of integrity. Integrity is something that we really need all round.
In other words, what you do when nobody is looking at you.
Yes.
Okay. Sharon,
Yes,
moral values.
Yes.
Basing on what she's saying, integrity, it all begins from our homes, right? So can I believe that the rampant corruption, the skyrocketing corruption is due to the fact that our parents have not nurtured us enough. So do you want to believe that this, when we leave our homes and go elsewhere, maybe in schools, maybe at place of work, we have now grown up, and that is why you see thieves swindling and embezzling funds, and you see people dying in hospitals because we have got no moral values in us? Please.
Okay. Well, thank you for that great question once again. To me, I believe what has left corruption running in our countries, what has left those dirty marks on our leaders, our upcoming leaders, and the leaders right now, is that I believe the African continent has failed to unite because we are actually having the rampant corruption, poverty in this African continent. And I believe if we as people can be able to work on the poverty generations that are coming up, because I can't talk about the African setting of maybe bringing up the children, because I believe my mom has taught me how best to maybe associate with people in the communities. And I believe if we talk about the different people who have had the allegations of corruption, if you go way back to their background, their parents have done some good job. And I believe they have. But due to that aspect of poverty, that aspect of maybe selfless or selfish gains, these people are running towards the corruption thing.
Are you trying to say that our parents or our backgrounds being poor
Yeah.
bring this sense of corruption, and it's also creating the phenomenon of poor leaders?
Yeah. Because now, if someone came from actually a poor background, and this person is having an ambition of having some good building somewhere, and she has had this bad background of having maybe in a grass thatched house. Trust me, this poor boy, this poor girl will always have to dream bigger. And this has called for these people to be corrupt. Actually, I'm not advocating for that, but it has pushed these people to be corrupt. So if we as leaders could actually push the economic development, this economy to be able to develop, this will erase corruption in the near future. Because if these Ugandans, these leaders of today, are able to maybe create industries, create different, maybe polish our roads, maybe create different places for these people to maybe to get employment opportunities, we are having very many youths out there without jobs.
But I've always seen, Sharon,
Yes,
I've always seen the government of Uganda, led by the President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, that we do believe has a love of Pan-Africanism and patriotism,
yes,
bringing on board a couple of initiatives to create wealth,
yes,
bring a couple of initiatives to amass wealth to our people. He's been talking about, for example, Operation Wealth Creation has brought on board Emioga, has talked about the other programs like is it I talked about wealth creation. There is youth livelihood program. You get the point?
yes.
So with all those programs, where is the problem?
I believe we go back, that draws back to the corruption.
And yesterday I saw the Operation Wealth Creation led by General Salim Saleh is it this program called the Namu Kekera? Have you heard about it?
I'm trying to do
Exactly.
Yes,
All those initiatives,
yes,
trade shows, to bring to mobilize young people to trade, mobilize people to have things to showcase and make money. Where is the problem?
To me, the problem that draws back to the corruption element. Because some leaders, the government has tried to put a little bit of funds to these different programs that are actually trying to empower the youth. But the different leaders, the top leaders, are trying to make it a little bit unfunctionable because they are trying to maybe embezzle the different funds, and by the time they are able to reach these young people, they are actually minimal. Because now if you're giving me maybe some little docket and I'm actually supposed to begin up a business that maybe requires me 20 million, or maybe actually it doesn't give me the morale, meaning it actually pushes me to maybe go on with the different corruption elements.
Wow.
But then again, the government has to do more of awareness. Because yes, I'll be able to get the money because let me talk about these other programs, like the youths are given the chance to get the 1 million in case you're going to start up some project. But then you have to teach that fellow youth, what are you going to use that money for? Create awareness, guide them, train them before you're giving them this. There are different activities you have to do. Train yourself maybe in this, maybe do liquid soap. I'm actually proud of your organization is doing some great job. So if one youth came from your organization and is able to start up something like that, trust me, Uganda and Africa will be somewhere very. We shall actually sell our continent and our country.
Dear viewers, you're live on Nature TV, on Track Show for the young people. We are trying to bring young people voice out their views and also bring about sustainable solutions that can really enable their communities move from one level of development to another. And as we conclude, maybe a few minutes on, my sister, a lovely Pan-African, the leader of Makerere, Pau, I would love to hear from you just in 2 minutes. What you want that young person to do for him or her to become a great leader? What are those things that you really feel they can do so that they can be role models, they can be mentors of other young people out there?
Thank you very much. For a young person down there and you really wish to be a leader, you want to be a leader, leadership begins with you yourself. This is how you're going to conduct yourself. Do you believe in yourself? You know, these are the key aspects of a leader. You have to believe in yourself. You have to have a cause. You have to have a direction of where you want things to go. By the time you're leading people, you know what you want. You know what you stand for. You also have to know, yes, what you stand for. You have to know what like makes me this, you know? You have to stand for yourself. And yeah, my key things for a leader, and maybe one thing that, or maybe things I could tell you that would make you a very good leader and able, it's one, I will not leave out integrity. It's the key of all. Believe in yourself. Believe you can do this. Have a direction. Know what you stand for. Yes.
Wow. Thank you so much. Your name?
Chisache Elizabeth is my name. Yes. I'm a student of Makerere University. I'm doing a bachelor's of water and irrigation engineering. I'm in year 4.
Right. Thank you so much.
Thank
So I'm really glad and I'm really humbled to have you on this show. And when I heard about irrigation and that scientific content, maybe in the next time I would be able to bring you on board to discuss about issues to do with SDG 13, climate change and maybe environmental conservation. Sharon, what is your take? And what do you feel these young ladies, probably for ladies, please pay attention. This is for you. Sharon, what do you want these young ladies to do? What do you think they should be?
To my young ladies out there, I would like to tell you, my young ladies, let's stand out for these different leadership positions. It doesn't discriminate you from your gender, be it a lady. Actually, we are actually given this aspect that we ladies can't go out for this, but please, we are able to do this. Let's push on this agenda of maybe Pan-Africanism. Let's go for the different leadership positions because it is able. I am an example to the young ladies. I'm serving as a coordinator institutions due to my capacity as a chairperson back then in the Chambogo University, where I served as the chairperson of the Pan-African Women's Organization. And they tried to maybe identify me amongst the young ladies, having maybe served the students very well. And I'm now working as a secretariat, thanks be to God. And then back to you ladies, please try to be play a very good example. Let's not go to these dark corners, these young gentlemen who will actually tell you, Sharon or maybe Jane, I'm actually going to give you this leadership position. Let's try to go to some place and let's do something. That doesn't work. Let's not go to those dark corners. Actually, let's use these capacities, your skill and your skill that you're having as a person can push you to different positions. Let's not go to the dark corners. Let's do the right thing as ladies. Let's advocate, push the gender, actually represent the country and Africa at large. I'm actually ending this. I appreciate our Dr. Grace Cavallo for having been a good mentor to all the ladies out there. She has actually taken the good path of the African female leaders around Africa, be it Mama Nyerere. She has been one of those people there. So thank you very much. Power, I salute you all and the other African organization at large. Thank you very much.
Wow, thank you so much, Sharon. Thank you so much, Kisache, for joining our show. And I would love to tell you that this show will be there always on Saturday. We need young people to come on board. Tell us what you feel that Africa wants. Tell us what you think Uganda needs to be a better country, to be a country that everyone is proud of. Like other leaders have always said, like Warren Bernis, who says leadership is the capacity to translate vision into reality. What do you think for your community? Are you able to mobilize young people and do something to transform your community? Can you make that community a transformational hub reality? My name is Junior Victor Akansasira behind the show. Thank you.